You ever come across this idea that you can literally write your dreams into reality? This sounds pretty wild, right? Well, that's the whole promise behind something called the 369 manifestation method. It's this huge viral trend where people are grabbing journals to attract, everything from love to money. So today, we're going to break it all down. Is this some kind of secret code to the universe? Or is it maybe just a really clever way to hack our own brains?
All right, so the whole thing really circles around this one super powerful and honestly pretty mysterious quote. It's attributed to the one and only Nikola Tesla. A key to the universe. I mean, that's a huge claim, right? And that's exactly what makes this whole 369 method so captivating.
So the question is, how did a 19th century electrical engineer, a man of pure science and logic, end up being the face of this modern spiritual trend? To get that, we really have to dig into the man himself.
Okay, let's get one thing straight right away. Tesla did not invent this manifestation technique, but his complete obsession with these numbers, that's where it all comes from. See, he had this belief that everything in the universe boiled down to energy, frequency, and vibration. And for him, the numbers 3, 6, and 9 were, well, they were at the very heart of that cosmic equation.
And look, this wasn't just some theory he talked about. It totally seeped into his everyday life in some really weird ways. I'm talking, he would supposedly walk around a block 3 times before going into a building. He'd use exactly 18 napkins to clean his dishes, which, by the way, is divisible by 3, 6, and 9. He'd even only stay in hotel rooms with numbers you could divide by 3. For Tesla, these numbers were basically the code he lived his entire life by.
Okay, so how in the world did people take this numerical obsession of Tesla's and turn it into a practical, step-by-step routine for manifesting things? This is where it starts to get really, really interesting. So the version you'll see pretty much everywhere online follows this simple daily rhythm. First thing in the morning, you grab your journal and write down your specific goal, your affirmation, 3 times. Kind of sets the tone for the day. Then, in the afternoon, you reinforce it by writing that same thing 6 more times. And finally, right before you go to bed, you write it 9 times. The idea is to really plant that thought in your subconscious while you sleep.
But here's the thing, it's not a one-time magic trick. Anyone who's into this will tell you that consistency is everything. The whole point is to build up this energetic momentum. That's why you'll often hear people say, you gotta do it for a full cycle, maybe 21 days, or 33, sometimes even up to 60 days straight.
But, of course, like with any trend that gets big online, if you start digging around, you'll realize not everyone does it the exact same way. The internet just loves to create its own spin on things, and the 369 method is definitely no different.
It kind of boils down to 2 main ways people do it. You've got that daily routine we just talked about, which is all about building that energy up slowly over the day. But then, there's this other version, one you see a lot on places like Reddit, and it's way more intense. It's like an all-at-once method. You write your desire 3 times, then your intention for it 6 times, and then the final detailed outcome 9 times, all in one single session. It's meant to create this super concentrated burst of intention.
And all of this leads to the million-dollar question, right? Why do so many people absolutely swear this works? Are we really tapping into some kind of mystical, universal energy, or is there something more psychological going on here?
Well, on one hand, you've got the mystical view, which is all rooted in numerology. From this angle, the numbers themselves have power. So the number 3, that's about your connection to the universe, to creation. The number 6 represents inner strength, finding that balance. And 9, that's the big one. It's about completion, spiritual awakening. So when you use this 3, 6, 9 sequence, you're supposedly aligning yourself with those cosmic forces.
But then, there's the science side of it. And this suggests that the real magic might actually be happening right inside your own head. It starts with this concept called neuroplasticity. This is your brain's amazing ability to literally rewire itself based on what you think and do over and over again. So when you keep writing down and focusing on a goal, you're physically strengthening the brain pathways connected to it. You're making that thought more automatic, more real to your brain.
And the other really cool psychological piece here is something called your reticular activating system, or RAS for short. Just think of it like your brain's personal spam filter or a search engine. When you keep telling it, hey, this thing is important, it starts to filter your reality and points out everything related to that goal. You know how when you decide you want a specific type of car, you suddenly see it everywhere on the road? The cars were always there. Your brain just started flagging them for you because you told it to.
So it doesn't really matter if you're on Team Magic or Team Neuroscience. People who do this all seem to agree on a few key rules to make it actually work. So let's get into the do's and don'ts.
All right, first up, the do's. You have to be super clear, super specific, and keep it positive. Always write your affirmations like it's already happened in the present tense. So not, I will get a new job, but I am so grateful for my new job. And as you're writing, you have to actually feel it, feel the excitement, the gratitude. Then, and this is a big one, once you've done the writing, you have to let it go and trust the process. Being desperate about it is apparently a huge roadblock.
Now for the don'ts. This is just as important. Don't use negative words or focus on what you're trying to get away from. So don't write, I don't want to be in debt. Instead, you'd write something like, I am financially abundant. See the difference? Also, don't be vague. If you're vague, you'll get vague results. And maybe the biggest one of all, don't doubt it. Belief is pretty much considered the fuel that makes this whole engine run.
So at the end of the day, we're left with this really fascinating question. Is the 369 method some kind of cosmic key, just like Tesla might have believed? Or is it just a really powerful psychological trick, a structured way to use your brain's own neuroplasticity and that built-in filtering system to laser focus your mind and start noticing opportunities? You know, maybe the real key to the universe isn't the numbers 3, 6, and 9 at all. Maybe it's the incredible power of belief that they inspire. I mean, think about it. What is focusing your brain's attention if not aligning yourself to see the opportunities the universe is already putting in front of you?